Have you ever made a decision that had a significant impact over the course of your lifetime? Like you think back, like, man, if I would have just done that thing different, I wouldn't be in this situation. Or had I taken advantage of that opportunity, it would have been really great to see where I would be today. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. Welcome to the next installment in our Infinite Banking for Beginners series. And we're going to be talking about long-term thinking and thinking long range. If we first take a look at Nelson's principles, his first principle that's listed is think long range. And what Nelson was talking about wasn't so much thinking 10 years in advance, thinking 50 years in advance. It was thinking 2 or 3, even 4 generations out from where you are today. And what do I want that to look like for those generations? What do I want those relatives yet to come in my lifetime and beyond my lifetime? What could I do to make their lives better today? And that's what Nelson was talking about. He's talking about creating a long-term system that allows the family to not have to be subject to a lot of these issues that people face today, not having enough capital, having difficulty in accessing capital. More importantly, more realistic right now is being able to even afford purchasing a home. To be thinking about that is daunting for a lot of people. And if we are thinking long range, we can actually implement processes today that allow those things to take place for our future generations. And that's what thinking long range is all about. When we think about the infinite banking concept and we think about long range, and we think about the tools that we use for this process, so dividend-paying whole life insurance through a mutual provider, the product works extremely well when we are thinking long range. It provides uninterrupted compounding growth over time. And that just only gets better the longer and longer and longer it's in place. Now, this isn't saying that you have to start this when you're young. We have people that are starting this in their 50s, 60s, and even potentially 70 years old. How we do that might be a little different, but regardless, the concept of taking over the ownership of your financing over the course of your lifetime should be a long-term thought process. And if we're thinking about how our future generations control the financing process in their lives, well, we should be thinking about putting things into place that would allow that to be able to happen. One of the things that I like to really focus on with my clients as well as myself is really having this building or forging this foundation of generational strength and generational thinking. And it's built on faith, family, finance, and future legacy. And to be able to make that happen, we have to be thinking out in the long term. So what is my faith? What are my values that I want my future generations to embody and empower? What does my family structure look like? Are we putting a lot of emphasis around building strong family relationships and seeking to help one another grow in ways that maybe the conventional world chooses not to? So those are really core elements. And then from there, if we're thinking differently about finances and thinking generationally and thinking about how we can leave something positive to the next generation, meaning generational wealth, and by wealth, it's not just money. I'm talking about all those other things I just stated. We can then lay out and utilize and create this future legacy by using proper structures, family constitutions, family banking systems, et cetera, to be able to do that in the long run. So it really is about thinking long range, and we have to challenge ourselves. One of Nelson's principles is also rethinking our thinking. So it's really easy to miss that rethinking process when we think long range. Many people, when they think long range, they're thinking out 5 or 10 years. Some might be a little bit further than that, but that tends to be the most common thing, or maybe they're even thinking about their retirement. But that's not quite long enough. If we think differently and we think longer term, we are likely to take a different approach to how we put things together and what we do. So I just want to challenge you to think about your thinking from that perspective. So as we are looking at wrapping this one up, again, long range thinking is critically important. How are you thinking long range today? What does long range mean to you? These are good questions to ask yourself. Then as we move forward, as we get into the next video, we're going to be talking about a little bit different topic in how does the infinite banking concept align with the term of stewardship? And when I say that, I'm talking more along the lines of biblical stewardship. How are we stewarding what we've been given? And we're going to talk more about that in depth, about what that looks like and how this process actually helps us to be a much better steward of what passes through our hands, what we've been given with our God-given talents, abilities, incomes, etc. So I hope that you like this video. Stay tuned for the next one. It'll be popping up here, and we'll talk to you again soon.